let's just address the elephant in the room. Emu powers is similar to Big Mom powers as she controls homies, but Emu power is in a huge larger scale where you don't have to be physically in the parameters to take your soul away. This is just amazing, bro, to be honest, to see Emu power being utilized. Like, she wiped out J. Garcia Saturn, and it's hard to be a leader of the 5 elders because this is something that will happen if things go sideways in your mission. I literally can't believe Emu actually did this to J. Garcia Saturn, like the black smoke coming from out of his mouth, and end up being a skeleton after Emu just took his soul away. It's definitely like signing a death row contract. The 5 elders can turn the same way J. Garcia turned if they fail in a mission. That's a death row contract. Figureland Garland working on death row, baby. And you can't tell me how beastly Figureland Garland came out so nice, sitting on a chair with this huge title of himself. He took over J. Garcia Saturn, so now he is the warrior god of science and defense that quick. First he was a supreme commander of the Holy Knights, and now he's an elder planet. Like, the promotion he got, and maybe he was definitely entwined with Emu. Maybe he been knew who Emu actually was, and he probably wanted promotion for a long time now. We don't know, but he definitely got the job, and he is definitely Saturn's successor. Oda is really changing things up. Like, you don't have to be a planet named to be a elders. Like, this year Oda is trying so many things different, and I love it actually. To actually transcend what we used to and what we know, that is the growth of a manga con. And I definitely could tell you, Jupiter looked upset, Marcus Mars looked upset, and Ethan Baron looked upset as he sat down in that chair. As One Piece fans, we actually tried to calculate Garland's strength, and we know now that he's definitely on par with the 5 elders' strength. And put some respect on 5 elders' name, even Luffy couldn't put a dent in one of the 5 elders. And speaking on the world government, do you think Stussy is really unalive, or is she out living her dreams to find out who she truly is? And speaking on them in the world government, let's talk about the Seraphim, how they have to be charged to go all out. And the government has so much manpower now that when they leave Egghead, they will have a dominating force in their ranks. Like, they have the Mark 3s, they have the Seraphim, they have the gigantic mechanical sea beast, right? So they have so much dominating force with them with Egghead. No, they do not have punk records as we've seen, and the satellites are alive officially. But to see overall the losses that J. Garcia accumulated in Egghead is massive. If you ask me before this chapter, did the J. Garcia Saturn and 5 elders of the world government took a devastating loss? I would say yeah, kinda. But now I know they don't have punk records, and J. Garcia Saturn failed so many times, and Emu had to unleash this because he failed so many times. This is definitely a loss for the 5 elders in the world government and the Marines. They don't have punk records. J. Garcia Saturn let Straw Hats get away. The amazing broadcast, the world knows about the flooding, the world is sinking. Like, that was the major loss. And mind you, the scientists actually wanted to scrap Emeth. J. Garcia Saturn wanted to revolutionize the science division with Emeth, and that was the biggest downfall. That was his downfall, and it came to bite him fatally. And mind you, the main reason why the Straw Hats escaped is because of Emeth. Because of J. Garcia Saturn let Emeth live and kept Emeth as a scientific advancement. So yes, this is J. Garcia Saturn's fault. This is J. Garcia Saturn's fault why this all happened, why the broadcast came to be. And that's why Emu unleashed this amazing technique where she could unalive you at any time. But I want to be clear, I think it's only because the 5 elders in Garland sold their soul over to Emu. And this was so fatal that even people in the Marine ranks are questioning what Dr. Vagabond said. Like Doberman, when J. Garcia Saturn hit him with that mystic technique, Doberman got dazed. And think about Doberman for a second. Not just him, the other Marines would think the same way. People would think the same way. Keeners would think the same way. Kings would think the same way as Doberman. You already have Kings revolutionized, like they are rebelling against the world government. People are going to question the world government from now on out, right? And you have people who think like Dragon at the end of this chapter, thinking the positive things that need to be said, because people are going to fight about resources and about who has the proper land that will survive the flood. And not just that, Ivankov mentioned 3 more islands that's trying to prepare for the flooding, like Tequila Wolf. They had slaves for 700 plus years to counter the flooding, and they spoke nothing from the government because they find it taboo. I feel like Tequila Wolf knew that if they mention why they doing this, it would be taboo for the government, because they knew the government wanted to hold that for themselves. And honestly, I think that's why Kaku and Lucci let Stussy go, because they're questioning the world government. Things are not right about the world government. Things are not right about the 5 elders. And we have Dragons, hopefully, is going to finally make a move. We need Dragon to make a move, because what Dragon knows now, maybe he been new, but what the world knows now, Dragon has to act, and he knows it. So yeah, this is all Saturn's fault. Everything happened because of Saturn. And that's why last shot Dr. Vegapunk wanted to save these artificial clouds, because that's the way that Punk Records actually escaped. Finally good to see the satellites are alive, put in together in one, and we seen that they can actually make copies of themselves, kind of, where their outer body. We seen a lineup of York's models, we seen Edison's head, right? We seen Atlas head. Like, they can recreate themselves, and they're going to weather it. But the dialogue between Shaka and the rest of the satellites stated it's going to take 500 years for the humankind to actually access Punk Records. I want to know why it would take 500 years. Maybe it's a loading time and they need to adjust certain things, or they have to make sure that the connection via the humanity and the satellites through Punk Records will be top notch for everybody to understand. 500 years is a lot of time from now, so we might have a time skip after One Piece is over with 500 years later of what is going on and how Punk Records will actually be the top encyclopedia for humankind to understand the world and things that surround it around. And it always surprised me the alliances that Dr. Vegapunk has with other people. Like Weatherer, I would have never expected Dr. Vegapunk to know the people in Weatherer. I would have never expected Dr. Vegapunk to be talking to Dragon and Elbaf, the giants. Like, bro, like this is amazing to me. To be honest with you, bro, like, I did not anticipate Dr. Vegapunk's alliances. I knew he was studying the voice searcher because you know what York said, but to know that he had other alliances elsewhere, that it still surprises me. And the only W I can say that the world government, the 5 elders, achieved in this mini arc was actually getting Mother Flame, because it's in fact they can use ancient weapons, and that's devastating. And this is what's happening to the world right now because of the ancient weapons. The ancient weapons can destroy a world, a flood of world, and I think that that is significant in one part because of the final war. People are going to use ancient weapons, and I think the world government going to fire these ancient weapons, with the 5 elders going to fire off these ancient weapons whenever they feel like it. And I think that's what smart people actually fear, like Dragon. Dragon fears that people are going to fight about habitable land, and people that's going to fight is celestial dragons, and anybody who's not celestial dragon actually would get unalive. And Dragon knows that. Celestial dragons will take full advantage of these islands that Ivan comes speak of. And just in case the celestial dragons deem that these higher up landmarks should only be for celestial dragons, we have the artificial cloud maker. Now we can reproduce the artificial cloud maker everywhere, for regular people can live on the clouds, just in case they don't do anything about the flooding. Oda literally be in his bag when he comes to these narratives about the main things going on with One Piece, like the flooding. That came out of left field for most of us, but some of us actually had hints of it throughout these panels, throughout these chapters, throughout these episodes of One Piece. There was hints about flooding, and just to know that a lot of us didn't pick up on that until now, like, that is the most crucial thing about One Piece right now. Pacifica is flooding. Everybody have to do something right now because the flooding is continuing. And in the midst of all this flooding, you got people who's actually trying to take the throne. We have the contestants who might find One Piece. If you find One Piece, you're the ruler of the world. Not just the Pirate King, you're the ruler of the world. The keys are in your hands. So out of all these people who might find One Piece, they have to do something with the flooding. Like Oda is making this One Piece manga so unique in so many ways, and this is going to go down to be one of the best manga ever, one of the best animes ever in the whole world. So yeah, to give you a complete overview of the chapter, the satellites are alive. They are stuck together with so many different body parts from the satellites. The government took some drawback losses because they did not obtain Punk Hazard, but their military force has improved because they have Mother Flame and they have the Mark IIIs, etc. From those are the most significant battle structure devices that may put the world government above the rest of the people. J. Garcia Saturn has been terminated and Garland is his successor. Emu power has been demonstrated, in which is a death row record contract. Then we have the revolutionaries who are going to still make a stand, and hopefully they can have a swift victory over the world government, because how things going right now, people are going to have to fight for habitable land stated by dragons. The satellites definitely will find refuge in Rethera. I feel like it's definitely isolated, for nobody can actually try to get them or try to, you know, use them for scientific means. And maybe Kaku and Lucci let Stussy escape, living her best life, or she may be unalive in action. And the most crucial thing in this chapter, I feel like, in my opinion, is the other kingdoms who are preparing for the flooding. That is so significant. So we have other 3 kingdoms other than Tequila World that's preparing for the flooding. Very crucial. I try to touch upon everything in this new chapter. Amazing chapter. This chapter is literally a 20 out of 10. No lie. Oda really dropped us with this right here, and we're not on any breaks. So Oda is gonna have another chapter for us next week. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to get more of me and more One Piece content. Love you. Love yourself. Peace.